Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we have some new Sin Cut, CIV, and WE knives that dropped today. Really, the Sin Cut was released the other day, but the official drop on most dealers was for today. So we have a new fixed blade coming from Sin Cut. You probably saw it on my first impressions video. It has a nice Kydex sheath, belt clip attachment, and this one's more of a belt knife, camp knife. I think it's close to 10 inches overall. You have a very versatile drop point, nice stonewash finish, the non-CR 18 MOV steel, excellent jimping up top, G10 scales. It is a little thin in hand, but as a camp knife, good slicer. Overall, good user all around, one that you're not gonna be scared if you break it, lose it, because I'm sure it's priced very, very well. Even has a perfectly executed sharpening choil. If any of these knives interest you, they will all be linked down below in the description. I will be doing a full testing and review on this one that should be coming very soon. Two of the new CIV knives that they sent me, we have a new model. This is the CIV Merit, and I wasn't too sure about this one, but I fell in love with this one rather quickly. So you have a G10 frame on here, you have a flipper, and you have thumb studs. They both work fantastic in typical CIV fashion. What's awesome about this one is it has super thin blade stock. Look how thin that blade stock is, and a full flat grind. Paired with CIV's nice and thin geometry, this one is a slicing machine. It's in 14C 2010 steel, one of my favorite budget steels. Yeah, this one was just an absolute joy. I finished the testing. My review should be dropping in the next day or so. Nice weight on it. My medium-sized hands, they get a perfect 4-finger grip. You have a deep carry reversible pocket clip on it. Beautiful action. It's a light blade, so it's not really a drop shut. Excellent flipping action. Yeah, I'm not gonna say too much more because my review is gonna be coming soon. We have a new version of the CIV Baby Banter, one of my favorite compact pocket knives. Great fifth pocket carry. This one is in textured aluminum that is contoured. Not something we saw in the drop point versions. They're usually flat scaled. They also added a filler tab on this one and a crossbar lock. Nice action, nice satin finish there, excellent jimping. It's just an outstanding compact knife. You can easily get to the end of that tip to do some detail work with it. You have a forward finger choil, so it's a nice little big knife. I'm surprised we don't see an adjustable crossbar lock like we do on most companies that are using the crossbar locks now. But I will say the Omega spring strength on this one is a little better than the first CIV that we saw, the crossbar lock, the Yonder. I love this knife. It's just the tension on the Omega springs is a little soft, but it feels like they use the same Omega springs in the Baby Banter, which is perfect for this size blade. Won't go any further because I'm gonna do a dedicated testing and review of this one. I finished up the testing, gotta shoot the review. So today we're gonna be diving into the WE Knives Quinseris, a striking pocket knife that's sure to catch your eye with its unique design and sleek lines. If you're on the hunt for a top-notch EDC knife that will definitely make a statement, keep watching. This knife boasts a generous overall length of 8.92 inches, featuring a 3.96 inch clip point blade crafted from Bowler M390 stainless steel, so it should have excellent edge retention and great corrosion resistance as well. The blade is finished with a stunning two-tone treatment. You have satin on your primary and your swedge. Then you have a black wash on your flats and on your spine to go with the handle. The blade's sharp, acute tip makes it perfect for piercing tasks, while the deep belly is going to excel at slicing through materials effortlessly. Plus, the spine includes functional jimping, providing extra grip for enhanced control during use. With dual titanium thumb studs with a gold anodization on them, they're positioned away from the cutting path, and a flat grind that keeps things slim. This knife promises solid performance. Now let's put it to the test in some real-world cutting scenarios. Man, it's always fun testing these WE knives. They usually perform great, and even though this isn't typically the type of blade shape I tend to gravitate toward nowadays, I usually want something with a lower tip that's more versatile than this higher tip clip point. I still can appreciate it. I love the aesthetics of a clip point, and you know, they're great for doing slicing stuff, especially on a flat cutting surface. And as long as you're doing short cuts in hand like this, I didn't have any issues sliding out of the cut. They even have a little scoop up on the spine to rest your thumb if you want in the saber grip, or the hammer grip. Doing this type of stuff is very comfortable as well. I didn't get hung up in the sharpening choil or anything. Now we're testing the ergos, and the scales fill out the hand nice. And I'm starting to increase pressure more and more. I will say you can see me kind of adjusting my hands. I'll show y'all more what I'm talking about. But where the chamfer ends on the sides of the scales, it's got somewhat of a hard angle. It has been stonewashed, so it's not that crazy, but I do feel it. Now my hands are more destroyed than the average person, so you may not feel it. Just something I wanted to note. And you wouldn't feel it unless you're doing extra hard cuts. Now, this is what I'm talking about. It is the perfect blade shape for doing any type of cutting on a flat cutting surface, whether it's a slicing motion cut, whether it's a sawing motion, whether it's a pull cut. You're going to have that belly just contour as you're pulling through to whatever you're cutting. They're great for making svelte cuts around, things. If you're, if it was a fixed blade, you're cleaning, processing small game, that belly is going to help you to be able to get lightly around things. So there's always benefits to everything. You can have a much more pronounced tip here, great for piercing. And yeah, it's performing great like I expected it would. Now, this isn't the sharpest I've ever gotten, but it's definitely good. It was probably hair shaving sharp whenever I started. I didn't really test it, but yeah, and I do appreciate these higher tips like that whenever I'm doing this sisal rope cutting, because I hate it so much, but it makes it a lot easier. Now we're doing the drag cut. And I would have to lift up the handle too high, almost at a 90 degree, to use the tip to do a drag cut. So the belly's it's going to work fine. Nothing really gave it any trouble, and it's going to be conducive to all this type of stuff as well. But yeah, that's the best any knife has ever done when I did the denim. A lot of times I got to finish the cut because of the way the belly sits, but not this one. This one performed great, and it was a joy to use. Next up, let's talk about the deployment in action. The Quinseris offers dual deployment methods. First, you have a minimal flipper tab that has jimping that perfectly grabs the finger without being uncomfortable, along with dual titanium thumb studs that are comfortable and accessible. The flipper tab, paired with the well-tuned detent, allows the blade to fly open with ease. Once you disengage the lock, the blade pretty much drops freely, thanks to its tight tolerances and caged ceramic ball bearings. The thumb studs function perfectly as well. You can reverse flick it if you want also. You can slow roll them. They double as external stop pins also. And if I do this, you can see where it's contacting titanium. I like seeing external stops. It usually provides a stronger construction, especially with side-to-side forces on the knife. The handle is a work of art in itself, featuring a black washed titanium finish, complemented by the copper foiled carbon fiber inlays that are on both sides of the knife. They're framed by a brushed satin titanium outline that really makes them pop. The handle is thoughtfully contoured with these deep chamfers on both sides that enhance comfort. On the show side, you'll notice a clean aesthetic, no visible body screws, and a nice flush countersunk pivot, with a nice added touch of a polished chamfer going around that titanium pivot, which is anodized gold as well, along with the WE in the center, and then the rest is all black washed. The titanium backspacer is also black washed and flushed with the scales, seamlessly integrated with a lanyard loop on the back end, so you don't have to have any holes in your frame. On the lock side, you'll find 2 gold anodized titanium body screws, along with a black washed pivot, T8 construction throughout. The pocket clip, which is also black washed titanium, has been blind screwed, meaning there's no visible hardware showing. It's done from the inside, and I must say it works flawlessly in and out of the pocket. It's tip up, right hand carry only, unfortunately, for my lefties. To keep the weight down, WE has pocketed out the inside of the titanium frame on the top and bottom, as you can see there, along with all the titanium that's milled out for these inlays, resulting in a manageable 4.98 ounces or 141.4 grams. You have a liner lock, and this is the first time I've ever really seen this done like this before. Let me shine some light in here. This locking liner is milled from this actual piece right here like you would in a frame lock. You can look in here how it's done, and I'm guessing they were able to access it from the other side due to this inlay right here, and you still have a hardened stainless steel lock insert, so you don't have premature wearing on that lock from having titanium up against hardened stainless steel, ensuring a secure lockup with no blade play, which gives you peace of mind during use. Access to the lock bar is also quite easy due to the chamfer on the show side right here. I can easily and reliably get my thumb in there nice and comfortable. I can use this portion as well. Now let's do some size comparisons to see how the Quinseris stacks up against other knives. It's just a hair shorter than the WE Sine Wave, and it's a good bit bigger than the WE Adder. And it's bigger than both the WE Ziphius and the WE Quinseris. It dwarfs both the Spyderco PM2 and Power 3, and it's also bigger than the Ontario Rat 1 and 2. Two great size references, the Microtech SOCOM Elite minus the glass breaker, and the Spartan Horsey folder. Now, being that no knife's perfect, let's go through some nitpicks and complaints. I wish they would have brought this plunge grind all the way back. That way I would have all this as sharpening life. You still have a decent little bit. It looks like the plunge grind, it gets a little thicker about right there, so you should have several sharpenings anyway, so that's very minor. Obviously, there's no lefty love here, which doesn't affect me, but it does my lefties. And lastly, whenever I was testing this one, it was very comfortable up until I started pushing really, really hard into the wood. That usually lets me know if there's going to be any kind of hot spots or anything poking, prodding me. And I noticed that the harder I push, this line right here from the chamfer is a little uncomfortable when you're pushing really, really hard. I wish they could have softened that a little bit more. You can actually see where the stone wash has rubbed it off because it's a little bit harder of an angle. And right back here as well where those two meet. It wasn't terrible or anything, but you may feel it if you plan on using this one really hard. So in summary, the Quinseris beautifully blends art and functionality, making it an excellent addition to any knife collection. With its impressive action, superb craftsmanship, and elegant design, it's bound to impress your fellow knife enthusiasts. If you're interested in picking up this knife, check out the link in the description below. And if this review was helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell notification for more in-depth knife and gear reviews. What do you think about the WE Quinseris? Or what's your favorite WE knife model? Let me know in the comments below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can leave those down below as well, and I'll do my best to get back with you. Thanks for tuning in. Until next time, keep those blades sharp, smile more. Hey!